this is Lisa.
And this is Laura.
We're back for Block F. Block F is the last block for month 4. And it's an 8.5-inch square, unfinished size. When it's sewn into the quilt, the finished size is 8 inches. So you're going to make half square triangles first. You're going to start with 4 3-inch squares of the light blue, and you're going to pair 2 of those with the navy and 2 of them with the dark brown to make your half square triangles. No, it won't be the first time you've made half square triangles, so we did 1, 2, skip a few. And so our half square triangles are made and they're ready to sew together. For the pinwheel in the center, just remember what's the point. So line up where your point is. If it's slightly long or short at the other end, it's not going to matter as much. Just be sure this is good and lined up down here. Stick a pin in it. And so mine lines up just fine, but if it was slightly long or short at this end, it's not going to be as drastic. So you should, when it's sewn, you should have a nice 1/4 of an inch from where your point is. You do the same thing on this side, press the seams in alternate directions, and then sew those 2 halves together. You're also going to make a light blue and dark brown for your corner pieces. The next element that you're going to make is the flying geese unit 4 at a time. You'll use the 5 1/4 inch square of the cream and 4 2 7/8 squares for the wings. So this was shown in a previous tutorial. So
So you've got this one.
Yeah,
so this one is pretty
you can
good.
always go back and review that video if you need a little visual. So the block is put together in rows. You're going to first put together your pinwheel. So your pinwheel will need to be done first. Pretend that's done. What a sloppy pinwheel, but we're going to pretend it's done. Then you're going to sew on these 2, lining up at the point. You have points at both ends, so if there's any differences, you're going to want to ease your differences.
In the centers, yes.
Line up those 2, and then these get sewn on, and then your top gets sewn to the middle, and the bottom gets sewn to the middle.
Okay, let's put this together.
Alrighty. Let's finish our pinwheel first. Guess what I did? So Laura was like, why are my flying geese so small? They're not fitting onto the pinwheel. I forgot to square them down to 2.5 inches. And our pinwheel was already sewn together. So no worries if you forget to, just cut them down after they're sewn together. So what we did is we just cut a little off of each side and squared it down to 4.5 inches.
Making sure that our diagonals and our center stayed in the
So
center
everything
so we can trim off
stayed,
the outside edge.
yeah, right
But I was
where
like,
it
oh,
was.
for goodness
It's
sakes.
like, good grief.
Do not try this at home.
We've made it a few times, I swear. It's not our first time around. Okay, so we've got our top and our bottom ready. So we're just going to finish sewing on these sides, and then we'll be ready to put our rows.
All right.
There we go. Got that centerpiece done. So let's go ahead and sew the top and bottom on, and we're all finished.
And we're ready to start the next one.
Nest these real quick. go. One of these corners gave me a little bit of an issue, so I had to seam rip and repin. But otherwise, quite pleased with how pretty it turned out.